Hey everybody, welcome back. We're playing Isaac. I immediately have to clear my throat. One moment, please. Came out of nowhere, man. Anyway, we did lose the last run, which is kind of surprising. They're giving us a chance at redemption with kind of a similar, a sibling type character, shall we say. I wouldn't know as an only child. I don't know what it's like to have a brother, to have a sister, to have a friend, to have somebody, you know, united with you against the oppression of mom and dad. I say that with a lot of, it's dripping with facetiousness. I guess. I think it would be interesting. As an only child, I think it would be interesting to have a sibling. I've never, like, I never cared, and I still don't, I guess. I don't care, do you? About having a sibling. I was never one of those children who was like, you know, hey, mom and dad, for my birthday, I want, like, a little brother or a little sister or whatever. I don't know if those children actually exist. You see it in media now and then. I didn't feel confident, like, putting CDs on my Christmas list, you know? The fact that, I would ask my parents to take on, I don't even know how much, like, financial burden, on top of the, you know, the personal loss of time and stuff like that. I mean, that's a pretty substantial birthday gift, right? Like, if, you know how much it costs to, like, raise a child until the age of, like, 18 or 20? I don't know, or 35 in the modern era? Like, instead of asking for a sibling, can you just, like, hey, mom and dad, can I have, like, a Ferrari instead? Can I have, like, 4 Bitcoins? Like, just, come on, go easy on us. Anyway, help me. Regardless, and I think it would be interesting because, here's what I'll say, okay? Growing up, I had well, look, I was gonna say I had limited power in my household. That's not fully true, but all the power that I had was derived from, you know, me being the apple of my parents' eye. So maybe I could have taken the opportunity when I wanted possessions or something, to lean into that and be like, it would make me really happy. But instead, I was always like, you know, that Bernie Sanders meme. You know, I'd be like, hey, mom, can I buy X-Wing versus TIE Fighter out of the Scholastic book order? And she would say, ask your father. And then I would be like, Dad, can I get X-Wing versus TIE Fighter out of the Scholastic book order flyer? And he'd be like, I don't know, it's $40. It's kind of expensive. And I'd be like, okay. It's pretty much how it went down. But my parents always presented, more or less always presented a united front. You know what I mean? Whenever there was a parental issue, it came down from on high. Mom and dad were united. That puts you on the back foot with respect to your bargaining power as a child. You know? I wonder if you have siblings, if you're not able to turn the parental majority into, like, a plurality, or maybe even, I don't know, force them to operate off of their own back foot. Like, the parents should be the code of Hammurabi when it comes to, like, what goes in the household, I think. Mostly because they understand how to run the household probably better than a child. That I've always used it as, like, my shorthand for adulthood is, like, you know, hey, I don't want you running the household because you want to have ice cream for dinner. But then I, like, in Twitch chat all the time, people are like, I'm having ice cream for dinner. So I guess I was operating under a false pretense that, like, for my whole life, what a shot. For my whole life, I thought adults can't eat ice cream for dinner. I guess the reality of the situation is that the real maturity, okay, now we're old-splaining a little bit. Real maturity is recognizing that being an adult means you can have ice cream for dinner, but you shouldn't. And that you have to become your own rule book when you reach that age, okay? I'm not saying I've never had ice cream for dinner or a hard taco shell with shredded cheddar cheese shoved in the middle in the microwave for 30 seconds to approximate nachos. I'm not saying it's never happened. I'm merely suggesting you shouldn't. And I'm not... Oh, wow, you're on the side of what? The American Cardiac Association? Big Doctor? Big Doctor got to you too? Okay, hold on. Anyway, if you have siblings, could you do that? Could you and your sibling put pressure on your parents to change their position in some situations? Because I was just kind of like... I was living under edicts. I feel blessed that the edicts were not, you know, draconian. They were not rude in the slightest. They had a very, like, reasonable upbringing. On the other hand, if I had siblings, oh boy, who knows? It also sets a precedent, right? Or maybe it leads to stricter parents. I don't know. Why would it lead to stricter parents? Let's go angel deals. I'll just be honest. I think they're kind of more fun. Let me caffeinate here as well. Well, here's the thing. If you got one kid and they're asking you, like, hey, can you make an exception for, like, this reason? You might be like, okay, but just this once. But if you make an exception for the older sibling, and then the younger sibling, like, 5 years later is like, oh, but you let Jenny take out the car with her boyfriend, you know, you're arguing from a weaker position there, right? I think as a parent, you know, you've always got to, and I say this as somebody, I haven't had to lay down the law too much with my, like, 12-month-old infant. I was going to say it's probably different from having a teenager, but I don't know if it is that much, because, you know, what I was going to say is most of the time I have to say no. It's, like, for things that my daughter is trying to do that could physically harm her. Like, we've baby-proofed the whole house, but she'll still, like, you know, try to rip the... electrical outlet covers off so she can put her fingers in them, and we're like, no, don't put yourself at risk unnecessarily for no reason, and she's like, ah. But I guess that's kind of what it feels like, I bet, to be the parent to a teenager. You know, the teenager themselves is like, I just want to go out, I'm just gonna go drinking at the quarry with a bunch of people I've never met before. There's nothing weird about it. Can I go, Mom? And the mom is like, I've watched a lot of true crime stuff in my life. This is how it starts. Call me. Yeah, whatever. Just, can you call me when you get there? Yeah, okay. Sure, Mom. God, you're so old. You're like 35. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. But, you know, if you're a parent to one child... You only have to go through it once in that sense, but if every decision you make gets duplicated or at least multiplied by the number of siblings you have, I guess. And it's a false pretense, right? The idea that as a parent you have to have the same standards. Like, I get you want to have the appearance of the same standards, but shouldn't be afraid of being called a hypocrite, you know? Everybody's a hypocrite. I firmly believe that everybody on Earth lives with a certain degree of cognitive dissonance and applies the standards of their living substantially more to other people than to themselves. I don't even know if it's aspirational to get out of that, but, you know, I say, hey, don't have ice cream for dinner. What did I have for dinner last night? I had 2 Johnsonville brats, you know? I mean, in a bun. I'm not devoid of taste completely. I do, and I don't know how many times we're spinning off of the conversations here, but it's funny to me that, like, you know, some foods are culturally appropriate for mealtime and some aren't. Like, I gotta feel like the macronutrient profile of an all-beef sausage with a enriched flour, white bun, and a little mustard on it is probably, like, not that nutritionally different than just eating some Ben & Jerry's half-baked for dinner instead. But, hey, this is a meal. This is an all-American Johnsonville brats. You know, I don't know if you've seen the ads, but... So don't besmirch my maturity, okay? This isn't ice cream, it's gelato. It's from Italy, there's a difference. And you know what? I thought it was... I got one left over in the fridge. I'm going to have it for kind of something between a breakfast and a lunch, one might say. Some kind of leckfast, perhaps. It's like Go-Gurt, but to stay. So everybody wants me to talk about the hot news I try to avoid controversy on this channel, but sometimes controversy seeks you out, okay? So if you need me to talk about it to maintain some degree of relevancy, I suppose I'll talk about it. Fine. They announced that there's going to be a new Mario movie. You're gonna make me look like the bad guy here, because the gamer take right now is that the cast is a little busted. They didn't use Charles Martinet, who's been the voice actor for Mario for, like, 25 years. Instead, they got Chris Pratt playing Mario, not the most popular actor within the gamer set for a variety of reasons that are all related. But on top of, and also, in my opinion, lest you think I'm a Chris Pratt stan, not that good of an actor. And I like what I've seen of him in Parks and Recreation from like a decade and a half ago. I think he's a fine Star-Lord, because it's much like in the way that Robert Downey Jr., at least at this point, is kind of inseparable from Iron Man. Like he is Tony Stark, at least from a cinematic pairing standpoint. Chris Pratt just kind of is Star-Lord, But having seen half of the first Jurassic World and Passengers, and I watched all of the Tomorrow War on Amazon Prime. Like I'm just not sold on it. I think he's just kind of like, without being too insulting to Chris Pratt, I feel like he's kind of just like a guy. Like if you need somebody to be in your movie and be a guy, he's got you. But apart from that, there's like no character. Okay, I'm not trying to go off too much, but regardless, well, you know what it is? Maybe this is okay. I actually think that he's kind of an okay comedic actor. It's just when he's like mostly predominantly in dramatic stuff these days where I'm like, I don't think you're making the transition properly. But I forget who Anya Taylor-Joy is. What's her name from the Queen's Gambit? She's playing I'm like, is that her name, or did I just utter, something from an old tome found in the Arctic? Anya Taylor-Joy, yeah, okay. From the Queen's Gambit. I've probably looked up her name more than any other actor or actress's name. It's like one day, like if you polled me at any given interval, there is exactly like a 50% chance that I remember Anya Taylor-Joy's name. Like it's actually like if you needed a seed for a random number generator programmatically, just have me get pinged and be like, do you know Anya Taylor-Joy's name? Who starred in the Queen's Gambit? 50% of the time, mathematically, I would be like, I don't, the girl, she's in Split. She's in Emma. Okay, don't make me laugh. Anyway, I got nothing against her. I didn't like the Queen's Gambit maybe as much as the average person, but I thought she was totally, I mean, I would say good in it. I don't know. It's hard to say someone's great in a movie that you don't really, or a show that you didn't really vibe with that much, but look, this is not meant to be NL gives his opinion on everybody that's in the Mario cast. Here's what I'm going to say, okay? For all the people that feel betrayed that Charles Martinet is not going to be the voice actor for Mario, I just got to tell you, like, I don't think you're wrong on, like, an ideological level. Like, I think we would all, if we voiced the character for, like, 40 years, and then they made a Hollywood movie out of that character, I think we would want to think that the corporation would tap us as well to be part of the... And he is in the movie, but my guess is that he's probably going to be, there'll be it'll be a nod at some point to, to placate the gaming audience out there. But anyway, but, for better or for worse, I would say, like, largely for worse, that's the way children's movies work in Hollywood now. Animated movies used to have... it's that old... I'm sure there's like a billion video essays about it on YouTube, right? Animated movies, even Disney stuff, used to be predominantly voiced by professional voice actors. Then in Aladdin, they got Robin Williams to be the genie. His condition was like, please don't use me in the marketing. I don't want to overshadow the the work of these hard-working voice acting professionals, and Disney was like, wink, wink, we got you, and then they're like, Robin Williams is the genie in Aladdin, and I don't know if that's like the catalyst for this, but you know, it seems like the trend has only continued from that point onwards, that anytime you make an animated movie, you can't be like, who's the best voice actor? You gotta be like, who's a voice that people will recognize in the movie? That's not to say that a Hollywood actor can't be like a good voice actor as well. It's merely like, I mean, besmirching the original Mario voice actor to take Chris Pratt definitely seems like a bit of a cynical sort of business decision, even though in my head I'm like, is anybody really seeing the movie because it's got Chris Pratt? Maybe. But everyone thinks right now it's gonna suck, because of the cast. And I gotta say, I very much disagree. Ye of little faith, you don't know how Hollywood works, okay? It's gonna suck because it's based on a video game where this dude just jumps on turtles and like I'm not saying that, well, no, I am. Has there ever been, I've never played a Mario game with a story that boiled down to more than just like, oh no, Bowser took my enchanted hat. You know, or whatever. Bowser wants to take over the Mushroom Kingdom. Wow. I did audition, okay? It's not, I'm coming in warm. I'm not coming in cold. I did go to the audition. And like, what's Mario's most iconic line, you know, in any video game that he's ever been in? It's a me? Oh no? Like, that's okie dokie, right? Like, the reason it's... And I could be wrong. Like, I've lived long enough to be wrong about a lot of things. Have I told you about how I thought the iPhone was a fad that would never take off? If I were in charge of trends, we'd still be using payphones. Yes, we don't have a trinket. It's an XL floor, right? It is. If I was in charge, we'd still be using payphones. I'm not saying payphones were better. In fact, the opposite. I'm just saying I'm stupid. Or at least not able to tell the future in all situations. What's crazy, you know, I was watching, because Keegan-Michael Key is going to be Toad in the movie. He's from Key and Peele, Mad TV, you know. Schmigadoon, which just came out on Apple TV. I haven't seen it, but I was looking for... You always got to have 3 references to hit the vast majority of the population, right? I was watching, you know, my wife talking about how, you know, we gotta be there at 6:30. Tell me I'm not sitting in the car until 6:45. No, Greg. When I finally track my wife down 30 minutes later, she's stepping out the dang shower like, can I help you? And I was like, first off, you gotta hand it to Key and Peele. That's for me, one of the... I mean, I haven't seen every sketch from the Key and Peele run, okay? There's a few that I really enjoy. And then there's some that kind of inherit from, like, the SNL Mad TV sketch comedy era of, like, you know, hey, hey, it's my favorite character, and they're in a funny situation. What if Miss Swan was at the DMV? You know, stuff like that. I'm more into the originals. I really think... like that one is in the like top 10 sketch comedy sketches of all time for me. It's like that Chappelle's Show, Charlie Murphy with Prince. I know a lot of people. I know Rick James got so popular it pushed Dave Chappelle to exile. I've always been more into the Prince sketch, quite frankly. It's the reason I bought the Chappelle's Show Season 2 DVD. There's got to be some from I Think You Should Leave. You asked me on 10 different days, you'll get 10 different sketches there, but Mr. Show, Pre-Taped Call-In Show is a classic. Anyway, what was I talking? Oh, yeah, okay. The fact that they got that sketch out there, Season 1, Episode 1, is actually crazy. You know? It's like when your debut album has, like, the greatest song you'll ever make, like Radiohead, how they never made a song better than Creep, for example. I'm joking. I'm joking. Anyway, I had a point. I had momentum. I was moving in a direction that was gonna make a point. It's like how so Keegan-Michael Key is gonna play Toad, and then So I don't remember. Okay, whatever. Who cares? Anyway, I just like I think that I maintain the logical possibility that it could be good. I think the movie is likely to suck. But I think the reason it's likely to suck is not based on the data points of the cast. I think it's rather based on the data point of almost every video game movie being so bad that when people hear me say that, they go, hey, 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 Mortal Kombat was okay. Hey, mister, are you forgetting? When you said all video game movies were bad, you're forgetting this one that is a 6 out of 10 if you watch it generously. Anyway, that's my hot take. I'm not so worried about the cast, but also can I tell you, I also just, and this is not to mock anybody who's interested, you know, I'm sure Smallland, he's going crazy for the Mario movie. I'll tell you, I'm gonna wait for him to watch it and then give me a synopsis, because he'll probably give me a synopsis in like 10 seconds. And without using his right hands. He's a speedrunner. He plays many games, including Super Mario Galaxy. Odyssey. I always get them confused, because I'm 100 years old, apparently. You play them both on the Nintendo's PlayStation? Anyway, if you're interested in the Mario movie, don't get me wrong, you know, I can understand. It's a hobby. They're making a movie about, like, your hobby. I'm not trying to gatekeep or say that that's not, we're going to the Lamb. That's not cool or whatever. Well, I will just, vacate. I don't think we need that other key piece, so to speak. I guess we'll take eyeball tears. What a Alexander Hamilton. What a dubious item room we found ourselves with there, or boss rush. But my hunch is that it'll be bad because what kind of source material do they have to go on with the script, right? On the other hand, because the story and dialogue in Mario is like, you know, so silent film-esque in a lot of circumstances, then maybe they have a totally blank canvas with which to make something kind of cool, but who knows, man. Anyway, it's just a movie. Like, a lot of movies are bad. It's not a big deal. Oh, so when I want to talk about the you know, the script to Dirty Grandpa, everyone's like, shut up, shut up. But then, you know, the Mario movie's not even out yet, and people are like, oh, talk more about it. Does nobody else see how absolutely fricked this is? Anyway, it's a Friday. I'm trying to figure out where this is not bad, okay? Like, but from these times of strife, what the heck, man, comes great potential. I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna play, okay? Because and this is, I promise you, not an invitation for game suggestions, though I do appreciate them. I'm telling you, you gotta, don't worry about it. I got my finger on the pulse, okay? Let me donate here. There's my luck upgrade. Thank you so much. But now that we've beaten Slay the Spire, A20 with the Watcher, that video's gone up now. I'm trying to figure out what to do if I got that second YouTube slot still available to me, right? Where I can record it every day and pretty reliably get them out there. And I don't just want to do A20 with every character, although that would be very easy to, you know, set up at the very least. More difficult to do. And I don't want to do, like, modded Slay the Spire, because, like, the well is kind of, I think it's not dry, but I think you're getting to the point of the Slay the Spire well yet again, where you're kind of like slurping at the bottom, you know? You're going when the soda's almost done, and you're like, please, just like go get a free refill. The person's like, nope, gotta get every drop. We're at that point, and one of the things, you know, you'll laugh, but like, one of the things that we've actually done a good job of as a YouTube channel is not getting just exclusively shoved in one lane forever. I know, like, there are channels that are much more varied. Not just in terms of the games they play, but the kind of content they make. Like, I think of someone like Ludwig, for example, who, you know, makes some gaming-related content, but then within that, there's you know, like challenges with like esports professionals and stuff like that. And then there's also like, hey, I gave my chat control of my credit card for 1 hour just to see what they would buy, like stuff like that. And that's more varied. It's also like, and people, so whenever I talk about other content creators, this is like one of the most embarrassing things for me, so please stop this. But whenever I talk about other content creators, like sometimes I do it in like a way that is actually like in admiration, and then people go, but yeah, but that guy, I don't like him, he's got a smarmy attitude or whatever. And I'm like, I'm being complimentary. I'm not fishing for compliments about how like I'm the best content creator on the platform. My mom already tells me that. I don't need anybody else to talk down to others on my behalf. I'm more than capable of doing it myself. But what I was gonna say is that's all great. It's also like a lot of work. Like honestly, might be like more work than I'm willing to put in while also still in the baby corridor here. But we've done a good job of, you know, not getting shoehorned as exclusively like one game or even a type of game. Like I'm kind of like, I'm the Isaac guy, one of many. I am a roguelite guy, but apart from that, like, you know, it's never been like well, for months it was when Repentance came out, but that was like by necessity. Everything else is like, you know, we've never been like, oh, this guy only plays Isaac, the same way you find channels on Twitch that are like, this guy only plays Hearthstone or Paradox games or, you know, League of Legends or whatever, right? What a dodge. So I'm always trying to resist being put in the box, and especially when you got a limited amount of time for YouTube stuff in particular, like I do right now. EXO? Nope. I also am like, you know, I think it's do something else instead of just more Slay the Spire. I have accomplished more in my Slay the Spire career than I ever thought I would, and I'm still playing it. Ooh. We're at the tier cap at 3.3. Anyway, I've accomplished more in my Slay the Spire career than I thought I would be able to, and that's entirely sincere. I never thought I would beat A20. There was a time where it looked like I would never beat A20 with the original 3 characters. Then when the Watcher came out, I was just like, I'm just burned out on Slay the Spire. I've been playing for like 2 years and never getting good. Angelic Prism or Genesis? So Genesis forces you to go up, which means that it's kind of a non-starter, unfortunately. It's fun, and I would love to take it if it let us go down. But because it doesn't let us go down, I don't think we can take it. Just being honest. I wish we could. But we can't, and that's okay. So yeah, I'm kind of in this, and the same on stream. Like I don't really know until the stream starts. I don't really know what I'm playing. You know, WarioWare has been a great game to play, and people actually enjoy watching it. Not everybody, but not everybody enjoys watching anything. But apart from that, you know, I'm constantly trying to like at least pepper a couple of things in daily that are a little different, and we're digging for treasure, right? Crosswords are great, but again, I think you got to get out while the getting's good. I love doing a crossword, but maybe we're reaching a little critical mass on the crosswords. Anyway, look at this. Look, dude, Angelic Prism. I've insulted this item a few times in the past. I think when you get the right permutation, it's actually quite a lot of fun. We are on a little bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a slow run, but we're a little bit like underpowered is not even really the right word. We power up at the end of a floor when we got a lot of like vengeful spirits working out for us, but then immediately it's kind of like a rug pull, right? Like when we get down to the next floor. Life goes on though. But yeah, I'm having a good time. So Vengeful Spirit does work with your blood bank, which is nice. I'm excited. I know I mentioned in the last episodes, but got family coming over this weekend. celebrate the baby's first birthday. Now, we're making a compromise. The baby's first birthday is not until, like, Tuesday. But we didn't want to have people coming in from out of town. Hey, show up for a 1-year-old's birthday party on a Tuesday. You might think we're putting a little extra sauce on the, on an infant's 1-year-old birthday party, but we're definitely not at the point where we're like, no, you have to be here at, like, the moment of birth. Although, to be fair, that wouldn't have been that bad because, you know, we basically had it scheduled. So, it was, I don't know, it was at like 3 p.m. Oh, you don't need a bomb there. All things considered, that's pretty reasonable. I wouldn't ask you to show up at, you know, 1 a.m. for something like that. Unless you're willing, of course. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Hey, you know what, though? I did watch, after all the conversations we had on stream yesterday about Dirty Grandpa, I actually went back and I watched Bad Grandpa, which I had watched once before in my life. And I thought it was bad when I watched it before. More than just bad, I thought it was, like, mean-spirited. And I think, I mean, there's a level of mean-spiritedness, a level of crassness. I don't know if the world has turned and made Johnny Knoxville, like, a more sympathetic character somehow. Like, we're kind of in... Oh my god, thank you so much. I genuinely believe we're in, like, a Jackass renaissance. Hold on, I've got a message here. One moment, please. Okay, I will pause. Alright, we are back and ready to go. I have no memory whatsoever of what the heck we were just talking about. It's been like an hour and a bit, which is typical for baby stuff, don't get me wrong. But I do recognize and remember that we did just get Godhead, so there's nothing to complain about, that's for certain. We're doing the Lamb. We got the Stopwatch. This is a pretty good run, huh? Who would have thought? Not me. That's not Paul, that's not Chris Pratt, that's Paul Rudd. Hey, you know, that's all I'm saying, man. If there was justice in this world, I think the world would accept a Paul Rudd Mario. And maybe like a Jason Segel Luigi. Now that could pop. I also have to say, though, I feel like, I don't mean to go, like, so in on Chris Pratt, okay? That's the internet's job, not mine. But I don't know if I've ever heard in my entire life, and I might be wrong. Maybe I have heard it, but I feel like I very rarely encounter somebody who's like, you know what? I'm gonna go see that movie because it has Chris Pratt in it. Like, I feel like Chris Pratt's likability score, I'm not going to say it's low. I think it's low in my demographic. But I don't think it's particularly high, generally speaking, either. But maybe, I mean, he keeps getting roles. So maybe there are people out there who are like, you know what? Oh, dude, Chris Pratt's in this movie? I love his, the melange that he has of, like, workman-like demeanor, as well as the occasional ability to be a little bit funny. Again, I'm not trying to knock the guy. Here's what I'm going to say. He seems like the kind of actor, I bet he shows up on time on set. And I bet he brings coffee to the crew from time to time. Now, is he likely, let's say, to have an Oscar in his near future? I'd say the answer is probably no. But that doesn't, I don't know what it means, okay? I don't know what it means. What it means is I'm trying not to get myself in trouble, I guess, with the Chris Pratt fans out there. But I'm telling, Paul Rudd, Mario, Jason Segel, Luigi, make it happen. Maya Rudolph as Peach. Fred Armisen is playing Cranky Kong in the real Mario movie. I love Fred Armisen. He can instead play Toad in my Mario movie. I just personally think it's like it's a role befitting him. I know that sounds like an insult, but I don't mean it that way. Let's question mark. He'd make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. Oh, let's go in then. He'd sometimes accuse chestnuts of being lazy. I'm not going to call it unlosable, but this is a great situation. Probably should not have taken any deal with the devil items, but I feel compelled once again to let people know I'm not allergic to having a little fun. And I feel compelled to let people know that I'm gonna soak up the sun. I got my 45 on, so I can rock on. Sheryl Crow. You know, do you ever... This is like a 12-year-old internet story. Not for 12-year-olds, but like from the internet in 2008 or 2009. Do you know that Sheryl Crow gave an interview about her environmental activism and said that to save the planet, she only uses 1 square of toilet paper every time she goes poop? That's a true story. I'm sure you can look it up. Almost missed Mr. Mega. Now, she later tried to walk it back, saying it was just a joke. I'm inclined to believe her, because, as we all know, Sheryl Crow has a reputation for being very, very funny, and telling a lot of jokes. Like, obviously, she's a musician first, but then I would say secondarily, she's almost like a bit of a court jester. She's always causing problems. You know, she's always punking people. All I want, like, what does she say? Remember the song? All I want to do is have some fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. That being said, it is possible that she was doing the classic, say what you really do, and then when everyone goes, ugh, then you go, gotcha. Wow, your sense of humor is really bad. You didn't know that I was joking about being disgusting. I don't know. Hey, look, here's what I'm gonna say, okay? 1 square would be insufficient for me to feel clean. But if 1 square is actually sufficient for Sheryl Crow to feel clean, then honestly, good for her. That's how I'm going to finish this episode. Good for her. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!